And for an expert analysis on North Korea's missile launch, Dr. Kim Hyun-wook, professor at the Korea National Diplomatic Academy, joins us on the phone today. Hello, Professor.
How are you?
Good. Now, this is the second time in a week that North Korea has tested missiles. So why is the North launching missiles at a time like this?
Well, I think that there still exists a huge gap between the U.S. and North Korea about the denuclearization. I think, North Korea wants some sort of significant sanction lifting in exchange for the dismantlement of Yongbyon facilities. But I don't think the U.S. would be willingly to lift the sanctions for the Yongbyon facilities dismantlement. So I think North Korea would think that even though they come into a working level talk with the United States, it would not be easy for them to come up with an agreement. And maybe North Korea is trying to pressure the United States so that U.S. would change its posture towards North Korea before working level talk begins. Same thing is happening in the United States. U.S. Secretary Pompeo mentioned again that there should be some other creative solution brought by North Korea to the working level talk. So I think these kinds of gaps between two countries is making North Korea to test its short-range ballistic missiles to pressure the United States.
Now, does today's test count as a violation of United Nations Security Council resolutions? I mean, would we expect toughened sanctions against North Korea now?
Yes, the United Nations Security Council representative mentioned that it is definitely a violation of UN sanctions. And also there was, extra United Nations sanctions last year, posing one individual of North Korea as targets of sanctions. But this extra sanction was very light, very soft. So I think this was for the purpose more of the domestic politics. There is a ongoing criticism by Congress and experts in Washington, D.C. on Trump's North Korea policies. So I think President Trump needs to deal with all these kinds of elite and public opinions inside the United States, which is negative about the President Trump's North Korea policies. But I don't think the real-term extra sanctions on North Korea would not be happening as far as the talk is ongoing between North Korea and the United States.
So how would today's missile launch affect future denuclearization talks with the U.S.?
Well, I don't think this kinds of pressure by North Korea would be easily change the U.S. posture towards North Korea. I mean, President Trump definitely is facing the domestic general election phase, but this doesn't mean that he can easily have a very stupid deal with North Korea, which would be another headache for him domestically inside the United States. Another concern for him might be that what if there is no success and agreement in the working level talk between the U.S. and North Korea? Because North Korea has mentioned that it will test ICBM and another nuclear test might be possible at the end of this year or early next year if there is no deal between two countries. But I don't think this would be easy for North Korea, because if North Korea does that, I mean, the next response by the United States would be something like fury and fire again by President Trump, which I don't think North Korea would be easily, has a capability to handle all these kinds of policies of President Trump on North Korea. So things are very uncertain in the future, but I don't think for now two countries' positions are very solid and put intact. I don't think this kinds of pressure by North Korea would be, changing the, denuclearization talk path in the future.
All right. Thank you so much for your insight today, Professor.
Thank you.